Welcome to the real Ramblers. Movie talk for fanatics. The real Ramblers. Movie talk for fanatics. And now your hosts, Bill and Lee Howard.
Hello, and welcome to Armchair Real Ramblers. Damn, I've been listening to one podcast too much. How's everybody doing? My name's Bill, and welcome to the Real Ramblers. I'm here with my brother, Lee.
That's me. I'm your brother. I've been your brother for how long?
A while.
Yes.
We met a long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lee and I have both been movie fans since we were little. We've both been involved in movie stuff our adult lives as well. And we just kind of thought, you know what? When we're at parties, we like talking about movies. When we're
bar mitzvahs,
in church, funerals.
Funerals especially.
Yep.
Hey, what's your favorite comedy?
Yeah. Incarcerated.
Yeah.
Anywhere we are, we like to talk about movies.
We went to jail because of all the funeral stuff.
True.
We weren't invited.
So we thought, why not start a podcast and let all of you hear our incoherent ramblings?
You're welcome.
So we'll start off with a little intro. We have pretty much always been in Oshawa and around Durham region in just east of Toronto in Canada. And even when we were little, we loved watching movies. Our dad would rent beta or VHS VCRs or video disc players at Consumers Distributing. And we watched movies all the time and loved them. I always say that my big turning point was a friend of mine got me a full-size Terminator, original Terminator movie poster. And once I had that on my wall, it kind of changed my wavelengths. And I don't know, that's kind of when the obsession began. What was it for you?
Well, it's funny because it's like, I feel like so much of the movies and stuff that I like, and I think this is like true for most siblings and stuff like that. It's like whatever like you would show me, because I mean we have other siblings and stuff, but they've moved out and shit way before. So it's like mostly just me and you. So it's like whatever you would have on, you would show me, and it's like that's what kind of formed what I like and what I watch and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. I think what you're trying to say is that I'm responsible for everything that's good in your life.
Mostly. Yeah. Mostly.
Continue.
One of the things that I was going to say, like things that formulated what we like in movies and directions that it took us and stuff later. One of the ones that I absolutely remember, because I was always really afraid of horror stuff as a kid. Like I remember specifically when it must have been when Salem's Lot was like on TV for the first time.
Right.
I remember coming downstairs and I don't think it was the kid at the window, which is obviously still scary as hell.
Terrifying.
But I think it was, what's that dude's name? Jeffrey, who was in it?
Lewis?
Jeffrey Lewis, yeah. When
Juliet's
he's like,
dad.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to Goldblum.
Yeah, sometimes. You're definitely going to.
Yeah.
Oh, it was only a matter of time.
Good, great.
I have it's 1 minute and 20 seconds before a Goldblum impersonation came up. So
I held off as long as I could.
I was expecting it at 30 seconds. So.
Oh gosh, welcome to Real Ramblers. No, but anyway, yeah, Jeffrey Lewis, when he was like in the rocking chair or whatever, his like, eyes are glowing. I remember down the stairs and I was like, do you remember when that came out originally? Like 79 or something? Yeah. So I was like 3.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that? Because it scarred me. And anyway, yeah, I was always like scared of horror stuff. Mostly, I mean, we loved the Hilarious House of Frightenstein, which I know that is a Canadian show, and I know it did play in some states.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like universally known.
No.
But it's like, it had monsters and stuff on it, and I liked that aspect of it. And of course, Boo Berry and Count Chocula. Monsters, but friendly.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically, it was like a Sunday afternoon. We were babysitting one of our nephews, and Bill was like, hey, we're going to put this movie on. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. And I was like,
it's really like my hobby back then when I was a teenager was to scar kids younger than me.
You need therapy. Yeah. That was your therapy. But yeah, I was like, is it going to be too scary? And you're like, it's the middle of the day. You'll be fine. I don't know where our nephew was at the time.
Not in the room. Locked up in a closet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what you do with kids.
Yeah.
But I remember like that movie, like it like flipped a switch in my brain, and it just like the horror love began there. So it's like Nightmare 2.
It's driving me crazy that I can't remember what Jeffrey Lewis said in the chair. It was like hissy whisper. and it was something like "Come to Me" or something. And it was "Come to Me." It was
Something
really,
like that.
It
Yeah,
was
it's been
terrifying.
a million years since
For me in that movie, it was when Barlow came through the window and everybody thought it was just a tree branch or something. The main kid and his parents were in the kitchen and with Straker, and something came in and nobody knew what it was. It just looked like a blob of whatever. And then up comes
I do not
Barlow
remember.
behind them. And it's, oh my God, just to this day,
crazy. I gotta
by
get
a
that rewatch.
huge margin, scariest vampire ever put on film.
Is it on Blu-ray or DVD? Or
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nightmare 2 was like pivotal for me.
Yeah, I remember that day.
in forming my love of mostly in like specifically horror.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember that kind of changed the ways that I thought about movies, weirdly enough, is I remember seeing True Romance in the theater. And I love True Romance. And it's like, obviously the cast is like packed with every amazing actor. I feel
And it was
like
probably that Tarantino dialogue.
Yeah, and it was just like it was the first time a movie made me think like, oh, that's why they would hire like this actor because they bring this to the movie and this guy brings that to the movie. Like everyone's acting style is different and stuff.
Right.
And I just never really thought about it. We're Canadian. Stereotype. Yeah. So that was another one that was kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember the day that I showed you Nightmare 2. And again, we were babysitting. And you were way too young to see it.
Yeah, because that was like...
But it was bright and sunny and in the middle of a living room. And
it must have been like 86 because it came out 85. And I don't remember how soon movies came to VHS or whatever.
I don't
soon
know.
after. So it was like 85, 86. So I was 10.
But yeah, I remember that
10,
you were
11.
glued to that screen for the whole movie. And then your entire room became Freddy after that.
Freddy shrine.
But yeah, so we grew up, especially a little later after these events that we just told you about, we were pretty obsessed with movies. Once we moved into the townhouse, my bedroom was the entire basement. And it was floor to ceiling.
Oh, yeah. Posters and cardboard standees and stuff.
And I had like friends that worked at a movie theater. So I had like full-size theater standees that barely fit in the basement, like a Die Hard one. And
I was going to say that Die Hard one was
Patriot
huge.
Games one.
Oh,
do you remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And the Target lit up.
Holy crap.
It was crazy, but they were huge.
Yeah.
And then I worked at a video store, so I got a lot of stuff from there too. And then the collection grew and grew and grew. And I've pretty much collected every format since. But because of OCD, I usually ditch a format when I move on to the next format. But anyway, so that sums up. That's why we love movies. But we basically wanted you all to know, like what kind of stuff we like and how we came to love movies this much. So I thought for this intro episode, we would try a little lightning round, give you guys an idea of what stuff we love. So Lee, I will hit you with some.
Now I
lightning
prepared
round.
0 questions for you. So
well, I can like give my answer after you give yours. Although I've prepared and made notes and you haven't. So
exactly, yeah. So you will sound professional. I'll be like, oh, Pee-wee's Big Adventure for all my answers.
And that's pretty much what I'm always aiming for, is for me to look professional and you to look ridiculous.
Done.
Okay, so these have to be like top of your mind.
Okay.
And it may not be like, if I say favorite movie and you say, it doesn't mean, there's no contracts being written here.
Yeah, okay, good.
So favorite movie of all time, what pops into your head?
Shawshank is probably the first thing that pops into my head.
Surprising.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not surprising now that I think about it, but I mean, interesting. Does anything else pop in your mind?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
There's so many. It's hard.
I know. I can never pick one of anything. Same with when somebody says, what's your top 5? I'm like, I can't really. I can tell you my top 5 today.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the top ones that come to my mind are probably Psycho, Singing in the Rain, Lawrence of Arabia,
Exorcist,
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Exorcist. Yeah, there's
God damn it.
Okay, so we'll go on to the next one instead of just saying favorite movies forever. Favorite actor
of
all time.
Of all time? Shit.
Dead or alive.
You're coming with me.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, you didn't. You don't know me. I don't know why, but the first person that popped into my head was Patrick Wilson. I love Patrick Wilson for starters. I don't know that he is like, for sure he's my favorite, but he is amazing. Like
and very versatile. And
I'll watch.
Always believable.
Yeah, I'll watch. He's one of those people. Like, is there certain? It's like, oh, he's in this movie. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And I have a handful of those, which is lightning round. There's a lot of pressure, so I can't think.
That's why you gave one. He's a solid choice.
He's great.
I usually jump to my usual go-to is Gene Hackman.
Right.
Because Gene Hackman can be in a complete piece of crap and give an amazing Oscar-worthy performance. And he's always, I find even some great actors, sometimes they're in stuff where you can see them acting.
Yeah.
And Gene never. Gene is always whoever he's playing. I'd also put, of course I'm saying it wrong, but I always say Mads Mikkelsen. I found out recently it's actually pronounced Mads Mikkelsen.
Like no D?
Yeah, you pronounce it without the D.
Oh, crazy.
But I'll
He's
still call him
too.
Mads. But he's great. And the British actor Stephen Graham is always on the top of my list because he's great. Okay, so favorite actress?
I really like Jessica Chastain. I think she's super fantastic. Kate Blanchett.
That's a good. I didn't think of her. But yeah, she's
Kate Blanchett's amazing.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson, she's amazing. God, there's so many good ones. That's the thing too. It's like there's so many.
Yeah.
It's like trying to fit a liter of water into a shot glass. It's just it's.
Well, the same as the Gene Hackman argument. The first person that comes to mind every time I think of actress is Diane Wiest.
Oh, right.
Because she's always 100% reliable and she can play anything. Like I've seen her play a complete badass.
Yeah.
And yet she can play the most tender, but she's great. Sissy Spacek.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Helen Mirren.
She's great.
All right. Director.
Mike Flanagan's the first one that comes to mind because I love
he was
Mike
on my
Flanagan
list too.
So much. And obviously it's like Wes Craven's up there and John Carpenter's up there, and oh my god! And again, there's going to be ones that I'm like forgetting, and I know there's obvious like Stanley Kubrick's like there's obvious.
We could go
like,
off on a
ones.
tangent here because I have some things to say about John Carpenter.
Oh well, it's true. It's like I love some of his. He also makes some.
He's almost more of a guy that I really love his movies.
Yes,
like a handful of his movies, but I'm not sure if I love him.
Right.
As a director, but anyway, that's probably controversial.
This is the end of episode of our podcast.
I know, this is another episode completely.
He's going to come here and kill you.
I know.
I heard what you said, Dick.
Mine are always the standards. It's Hitchcock is always number one. Of course. Always number one. Kubrick, Woody Allen. Those are always my go-tos. But for more recent, Flanagan, I love.
Oh my god!
He's just
it doesn't matter what he does,
and so detailed.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo's amazing. Yeah. Ari Aster.
Oh my god! Of course.
Yeah.
See, there's too many.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Lightning round is pressure.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so 3 genres: comedy. Favorite comedy.
Favorite comedy. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Choice. I wouldn't have thought that would be yours.
I love Planes, Trains. It's just, I think also it's nostalgia always plays a big part in stuff, right?
We should actually have a whole episode on nostalgia because I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Popstar it's in my underrated ones. Honestly, it's so fun. I love Andy Samberg's stuff. The songs alone. I
always give credit to Andy Samberg because he made a movie that should have been a piece of crap really great with was it what was it called? The one where is it Hot
Rod?
Hot Rod.
Right.
I was going to say Hot Shot. Hot Rod is great.
It is funny. Yeah. It's like
a funny movie. Yeah. And it's funny because of him.
Yeah.
He's a very genuine guy and very natural.
Just the songs and stuff in Popstar are so goddamn funny.
Yeah, he is one of those musical prodigies.
Step Brothers is one of my all-time favorite comedies. Like, it's just, and also
I'm torn on a lot of Will Ferrell stuff, but Step Brothers, I can't stop laughing.
Like, he makes some that are just like, nah, that wasn't great. I couldn't even finish that Sherlock Holmes one. It didn't do it for me. But there's also, and we're gonna have an episode later that's kind of like lesser known gems, but it's like I love like Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, great.
And there's one called They Came Together. And it's Paul Rudd. We'll talk about it in an upcoming episode.
Okay.
It's like a spoof of romantic comedies.
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
We played it again the other day, and I was like laughing so hard and so loud. And like Jordan's looking at me like she was like laughing at me because I was like uncontrollable. It's so stupid, but oh my god, it's one of my favorite comedies.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'd go with probably my 2 favorite comedies of all time are When Harry Met Sally and Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona is great.
Raising Arizona. And probably The Jerk would round out a top 3.
Yeah.
Classic Steve stuff Like The Man with Two Brains. Come on.
It's been a long
Dr.
time.
Hafar. Okay. Favorite horror movie of all time.
Jesus Christ.
I know horror is the toughest for both of us.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like I feel like we want to cover a lot of movies and genres in this podcast, but I feel like horror is going to be a real big
horror
part.
will always,
So Elm Street is got to be my top, just because. And again, it's nostalgia, but also it's such a perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
The Exorcist is a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Session 9, that's another big influence movie. It's influenced a lot of art and what I do.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's divisive. I'm just giving a lot of horror movies I like. I love the first 3 Paranormal Activities so much. It's so simple.
I love
but
all but one of them.
Part 4 sucks.
Yeah, 4 sucks.
Yeah.
All the other ones I think are
Ghost Dimensions, but it's got some okay stuff in there. But it's not. That's the one. They kind of.
Oh yeah, okay, except for 2. Sorry. Yeah. I agree with that. But all the other ones,
marked ones is underrated.
I loved.
Yeah, really good.
The Next of Kin, last one I loved. Yes.
Yeah. I just love so many horror movies that it's hard to The Shining is incredible.
Yeah, I go to on
and
my
still
list,
makes me feel uncomfortable when I watch it. And,
Same.
You know what I mean?
Same.
It just oh my god, Midsummer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Midsummer is in my top 3 probably. There's just something about that movie that I just It got under my skin and didn't leave, Hereditary. But
Hereditary
and
Midsummer, I'm obsessed with both.
Yeah, so
and I also put, of course, Exorcist, Shining, Rosemary's Baby, American Werewolf in London. Psycho 2 to throw a wrench in things.
I just bought that on VHS.
Nice. Okay, and then last, let's try action.
Action movies.
Yeah.
Family. That's Vin Diesel.
I don't remember one called Family.
It's all family. That was the first that came to. It's not my favorite, but I do love the Fast series from 5 on. The other ones are fine, but whatever. So just as far as action, oh my god, what comes to mind? Ghost Protocol was
nice.
an
That's on my list.
Incredible action movie.
To me, it's still the best of the Mission series, and
for sure.
For me, in all of movies, it's almost a perfect action movie.
Yeah, T2. Yeah. I love T1. T2 just is maybe has more. I don't know. I love them.
We're going to have to talk about this on a separate episode because most people, I would guess, when you ask them, pick T2 over T1.
Yeah.
And I'll always pick T1 over T2.
I
love T2.
Yeah.
But Terminator 1.
I'd have to. It's been a long time since I watched it. God, I don't know.
I had Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah.
Die Hard. Wanted.
Oh God, Die Hard, of course.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
We added that to our Christmas list too.
Wanted. I loved. Again, I'll get controversial and say Matrix Reloaded.
Part 2?
Yep.
I like that one too. We talked about it before. A lot of people
especially if you're picking favorite action movie.
That movie is crazy.
Has way more action than 1. So
yeah.
Love
oh my god, John Wick movies. Hello.
Yeah.
Sweet Jesus, I still have to see part 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Wicks are so up there. Oh god, it's I feel like you can watch them 1,000 times and it's you're noticing different just pieces of the fight every time.
I think John Wick movies are the closest thing to John Woo currently because it's like watching dance.
It's bananas. The choreography is...
Wait until you see 4.
I can't wait.
Wait until you see Carfu.
Ooh.
Carfu is something. Okay, that was the lightning round. So now y'all out there have a little bit of a better idea of what does it for us.
What's our time? What do we running at?
Still got time.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh gosh, look who just stepped into the studio. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna. Favorite Goldblum movie?
Oh geez, Mr. Frost.
I was gonna say Mr. It's been a long time since I watched it, but that's a good one.
My second would probably be Into the Night.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, and it's directed by John Landis.
Oh crap, that's right. It's been forever since
Into the Night's kind of like if you took Blues Brothers and you gave it a really sleepy drug. Because it's very low key, but it has the same sense of humor. And I don't know, it's brilliant.
I didn't even remember that it was kind of comedy or whatever. It's been so long.
Oh, very comedy. And John Landis is in it. and plays like
So funny.
a Middle East terrorist.
Oh no.
And he's hilarious because they're like bumbling Keystone cops, terrorists. They're funny.
Oh, that's crazy.
My God, it's a good movie.
And-
Being a Goldblum fan, you should revisit that.
I should,
'Cause
I should
it's really
just have
great.
like a gold bloomathon.
Yeah.
Also, The Tall Guy, classic.
Oh my God.
Not a lot of
But
people
why
know
did I
about
not
it.
think
Oh
of
gosh,
that?
the British humor.
That should have been
of it
on
all.
my list of comedy ones because
Yeah.
The Tall Guy,
It's so
I
funny.
cry through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole movie.
Yeah.
The whole
Fancy
movie.
a fuck, big boy. No thanks, just had one.
Just everybody should see that movie just to see what it would look like to see a musical about the Elephant Man.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because there's
I almost
many
forgot
scenes
about
that are
that.
entire musical
Yeah.
numbers.
I almost forgot about
And,
that aspect
and Rowan
of it.
Atkinson's in it playing like
Evil Rowan
a
Atkinson.
huge douchebag version of himself.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely brilliant. Everybody,
Like
Emma Thompson.
doing the same like Rowan Atkinson stage routines,
Yeah.
and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Seriously. Never been on Blu-ray.
Really?
Same with Mr. Frost. Never
Weird.
been on Blu-ray. It's crazy.
Weird.
We could have a whole episode about what's missing from Blu-ray.
You would know more than me. It would
There's
just
a
be you
lot.
being like this and this, and I'd be like, what?
What the hey? We'll call that episode What?
Yeah. That'll be a new segment. Like, and now it's time for What the Hey? With Bill and Lee. Guess what's
But
not on
mainly
Blu-ray? This movie. What the hey? That'll just be like a stinger thing that Jay, our producer.
Be like- yeah. Say hi, Jay.
Hey, everybody.
Jay will agree with The Matrix too, I think. Do you?
1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Good. And there is no bigger Matrix fan than Jay.
Correct.
He tried to plug himself into a computer.
He did.
One time. I was like, that is just like an
And I've
HDMI
never
cable.
seen a man eat so many blue and red pills. It's
Yeah, we had to take him to the hospital that day.
They were Smarties.
Oh, okay. He just went into sugar shock.
yeah.
Chocolate Skittles.
But anyway, with Real Ramblers, what we want to give you guys is just, talking about the movies you love, maybe talking about movies you've never seen that you're going to go check out after listening to us ramble about them. So
Here's the thing I just thought of.
okay.
Also, unless you wanted to.
No, please.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Please.
I can't stop. I'm so sorry.
It's all right,
I
go.
opened the door.
Go. It's fine. I'm going home.
Podcast over. For me, I don't know if we will ever get into this on the podcast. I don't like, and I used to be kind of like this person. I don't like. I hate lists that are like top 10 worst movies of the year.
Agree.
I don't really like, if there's something because obviously there's movies I don't like.
Yeah.
But I know that out there are some people that are like, I love that movie, and I don't want to be the one to be like those dickheads that show up in comment sections that are like, wrong, that movie's crap. It's like somebody likes it. That's fine.
I agree.
So for me, I'm always just like, if there's something, even on like Facebook, or wherever, if I review movies or say, hey, I just saw this, I usually don't even post about the ones that I didn't like.
I agree.
But
so what? Okay. Go
So I
ahead.
was just say, but if I do, for me, the best way is just like, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I just didn't really connect with it, but I'm super happy that someone else did.
Nothing gets me more angry than somebody saying that was a bad movie, period, and giving no context and not saying it was a bad movie for me.
Yeah.
Because it's a bad movie for you. It doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I used to have my own movie review website called fountainpop.com. And then for years, I wrote a new release column every Tuesday for a website called boxofficebuzz.com, which is a fantastic site, by the way. Check it out. And I used to do a lot of interviews. Hopefully, we're going to do some good interviews. We're working on some stuff to bring you guys some interesting stuff with some interesting people that I think you'll enjoy. But every time when I wrote my column, when I had the website, that was definitely my philosophy as well. I don't like why dwell? Every time I see somebody comment about a movie and say something negative, I'm like, why wouldn't you use that time constructively to comment on a post about a movie you loved?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Never read.
And I'm sure we're definitely going to talk about movies that didn't work for us.
Absolutely,
or
yeah.
we didn't, especially when we get into
Speaking of which, a movie I fucking hated. Just kidding.
I know we'll get into some of that when we get to the episode about Nightmare on Elm Street. But
What? Oh, I mean, I get it.
but anyway, yeah. So that's what you're going to get from us. You're going to get love for movies,
Yes.
as much as you can handle, and you'll get some constructive comments
Yeah.
about other stuff, but
Yeah.
you're not going to get any hate.
Yeah,
here.
you'll just
You're
get our opinions on stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, if you liked Venom, I'm glad you did.
Damn
Didn't
right.
work for me. Why does he sound like Cookie Monster? Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm kind of a dum-dum too,
It does, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just a little joke. But I mean, again, there's people that love it, and that's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, that's
And I
another
love
movie
that.
that
I
people
will
can
never
rewatch.
tear
Hooray.
somebody down for saying they love a movie because that's what I do. I love movies. So
Yeah.
if you're loving a movie, regardless of what it is,
Yeah.
then welcome to the club.
It's subjective, right? It's like art. All art is subjective,
Yeah.
and and it's also okay to love crappy movies too, which is going to be another upcoming.
And even movies you hate took a lot of people, a lot of time, and a lot of hard work to
Exactly.
make, and I will always respect that.
Yeah,
Even
totally.
in-
People work their asses off.
even in
to-
a movie I hated beyond belief. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
But
what?
we'll discuss that later. We have a 7-part episode series coming up called Movies I Fucking Hate.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go. That's who we are. That's Bill and Lee, and we've been talking about movies like this since we were small, and now it's time for you guys to be tortured by it as well.
You're welcome.
So thanks for tuning into this first episode, and hopefully you keep tuning in. We got some interesting stuff coming up, and in between listening to us, watch some movies.
Yes.
Take some time out of your day, watch a movie, and yeah, share the love and let people know what movies, because so many of them nobody sees because they're smaller and they don't get Fast and Furious box office numbers. So
Yeah.
in order for people to see them and love them as much as you do, you got to tell people about them.
Don't be a stinky dick in the comment sections.
Yeah, holy, take it easy. So Lee has to leave now to go to his therapy session.
I wish
uh,
I wish I had a therapist.
And we'll talk to you next time. And thanks for
rambling.
tuning in. Yeah, and keep rambling. Oh, that's our catchphrase.
Pew, 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 pew.
That's our catchphrase. All right. Signing off.
Goodbye. You stay classy, San Diego.
Thanks for listening to The Real Ramblers. Follow us on Instagram at Real Ramblers. That's REEL Ramblers. And you can follow Lee at Lee Howard _art and Bill at JustTheBill1138.